Hey guys, Ollie here, I'm Relentless Comics. Welcome back to the channel and episode number 6 of Relentless Origins series for Marvel characters. As you've seen today, we shall talk about the feared vampire hunter himself, Blade. Now, as with each and every video, I shall talk about the character's origin story, as well as briefly talk about their history, their personality, their powers and abilities. However, another series shall be made in the future where we will talk in detail about characters' powers and abilities. With that being said, let us begin. So, as you may have seen, the character has a very brief appearance in the post-credit scene of the Eternals movie, where Blade approaches Dane Whitman. So, just to set the scene, in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, it's currently 2023, and it appears that Eric Brooks, Blade, had been spying on Dane Whitman, aka the Black Knight, in London, England, when he decided to open a case with the Whitman crest on it that contained the ebony blade. Now, when Whitman decided to try using the sword, Blade asked him if he thought he was ready for it, catching Whitman off guard. Now, since then, we have learned that this is the voice of Mahershala Ali's Blade, so we understand the character shall have some connection with Black Knight in the future. Therefore, I thought this character's origin story would be a rather relevant video to cover. And given the current position of the MCU films, I think it's a good idea too. Just let me know what you think in the comments below. So, who is Blade? Blade, his real name is Eric Brooks. He was practically born a vampire slayer. His mother was turned into a vampire only moments before his birth, which granted him supernatural abilities including long life and immunity to vampire bites. He became a hunter of the undead with the driving desire to claim vengeance on Deacon Frost, who was the vampire that bit his mother. Blade is greatly feared by vampires and other supernatural beings, and he is commonly known to them as the Daywalker. Blade has made comments about himself within the comics, and it paints quite an accurate picture of who he is, or at least who he wishes to be or tries to be. In Blade Crescent City Blues, he says, "I'm a vampire hunter. I never claimed to be a hero." The reason for Blade's rather unique combination of powers and abilities, which we'll get onto later in the video, is down to the fact that he was not intentionally turned into a vampire. Instead, he survived a vampire's touch through the killing of his mother. His quest for revenge would not only lead him to Frost, but ultimately into fights against the undead and other supernatural horrors, where he's fought alongside allies such as Wolverine, the Avengers, X-Men, and even the Sorcerer Supreme himself, Doctor Strange. The origin of Blade. So, Blade was born in a Soho brothel in Great Britain. Blade himself has revealed that the exact date of his birth was October the 24th in 1929, which is commonly known as Black Thursday, as it was the day the stock market crash began. Now, at the time, Blade said he was 72 years old, however his vampire powers make him look much younger. Blade's mother, Tara Brooks, is a prostitute at Madame Vanity's brothel, who experienced severe labour complications, and a doctor was summoned. Now, the doctor's name was in fact Deacon Frost, who I have mentioned a moment ago, who in fact, is a vampire. Frost feasted on Blade's mother during birth, killing her and accidentally passing along certain enzymes in his own blood to Blade when he was an infant. This process turned Blade into a Dhampir. So, like I say, that's an individual who has been touched but not converted by a vampire. This resulted in Blade's superhuman abilities, such as immunity to being turned, the ability to smell supernatural creatures, and a significantly prolonged lifespan. This has also caused Blade's sensitivity to bright light, although it's not necessarily a major sort of weakness. It can't kill him. Similar to Morbius, it can sort of bother him more than anything. Frost was driven off by Blade's mother's co-workers before he could kill the infant as well. They raised him until he was 9 years old. Though Blade lacked superhuman physical prowess, he trained himself to become an Olympic-level athlete and formidable hand-to-hand combatant. Most notably, he became an expert with edged weapons, especially knives, swords and daggers, hence the name Blade. Walking home from school, Blade saw an older man being attacked by 3 individuals, and Blade fought them off. They actually turned out to be vampires, and Blade rescued the elderly man. He learned that the old man was Jamal Afari, a jazz trumpeter and vampire hunter. Afari moved into Madame Vanity's brothel and trained the young Blade in both music and combat. In fact, Blade was soon able to defeat many of the weak younger vampires after a very short period of time. However, due to Blade's young age, with each victory, he actually became quite cocky, and that trait, every now and then, does show itself, even still to this day, as sort of an adult. Blade's personality. So, he no longer thinks of himself as just a vampire slayer. His words are that he is a demonic reaper. He will do anything necessary to protect what he believes in, and in the comics he's classed as a hero as he follows his heart. However, he also knows that he's a formidable individual, and he can take on near enough anyone, even some of the most powerful mystical characters, due to his age, experience and powers. So even if he does come up against someone who's maybe physically more powerful than him, because he's got the experience and the knowledge, he knows their weaknesses and he knows how to counter them. Blade is a very confident individual and understands that he's essentially a tough guy. Rather similarly to Wolverine and the Thing, he's always ready for a fight and will never take the first step back. Powers and abilities. Due to his dual nature as a Dhampir, Blade has a heightened awareness of the supernatural, and he can't be turned into a vampire. While this does not make him immortal, Blade ages much slower than a normal human. Now, just talking about another character that we've covered on this channel and briefly mentioned before within this video too, Morbius. Now, they have very brief storylines and not much of a connection throughout the comics. However, Morbius and Blade have clashed on more than one occasion. This was when Morbius bit the Hunter on the arm in one confrontation. This was in Peter Parker's Spiderman issue number 8. And Blade was actually not immune to Morbius's unique physiology. As we've mentioned before, Morbius is a pseudo-vampire, so essentially he's a vampire. He became a vampire through the means of science, rather than becoming a vampire through supernatural means. Now, you would think maybe this would be sort of negative for Blade. Maybe he would become ill, or maybe it would actually harm him severely. However, it was the total opposite. Blade gained even more vampiric abilities like super strength and agility, regenerative healing, but he also grew fangs and a thirst for blood. Essentially, he became more powerful than he was already. However, he was also even more volatile. Blade is highly trained in martial arts and is an expert marksman. Blade can utilise a large arsenal, which includes swords, explosives, throwing stars, guns, and a lot more. Other abilities he possesses includes a very strong healing factor, superior to that of Spiderman, but less so than Wolverine or Deadpool. He has a danger sense which works similar to that of Spiderman, hypnosis, espionage. He's a gifted intellect, although not a genius or a super genius. His knowledge of the supernatural and understanding of the supernatural realm, however, are almost second to none, surpassing that of Doctor Strange. So guys, if you have enjoyed the video, please smash the like button, hit the subscribe button down below for more content on this channel. If you have any video ideas or feedback, then please feel free to leave this in the comment section below, and I shall respond to all comments and messages on the Instagram channel, which I'll also put in the description. For more of these videos, ring the notification bell as well, and you'll never miss a new video every weekend. Thank you all once again. As usual, here is a quick teaser for the next character that I shall be covering on the following episode. As you can all see now, the next episode of this Relentless Origins series is the character Moon Knight. I'll see you all on the next one.